How to start your Monday morning. Start the fire, boil the water, grind the coffee, add filter, coffee in the filter, water into filter, watch it drip, more water, watch it drip some more, fill your cup, raise your cup, and whoa, no, leave the house and leave it up to the professionals to make the coffee. I'll stick to the conversations. Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Well, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. This is our 77th show. Of course, I'm Brooke Allen, and wow, what a crazy weekend it was. Of course, Mother's Day weekend, and I just kind of stayed by myself all day and had a turkey sandwich. I was joking earlier before we came on the air that I was having a turkey sandwich on Wonder Bread. It was actually sourdough, but it's the finer things in life, and I was able to binge watch Law & Order SVU, so it was all good on my side. Thank you so much for being with us, and this is one of my favorite segments coming up, halfway to 100, which is not just about aging gracefully, but also finding the resources for our elderly loved ones. There is so much out there that people need help with, whether it's when to have that conversation about not being able to drive anymore, or finding an assisted living home, or just even bringing in a caregiver. But caregiving is our topic today, and there's been a dramatic increase in employees functioning as unpaid family caregivers in addition to being a full-time employee. So that just kind of complicates matters, and of course the whole financial cost and when you have to call in to take care of somebody. I mean, we all know it. We've all had kids, and when they're sick, guess what? You're not going to work. So, right? So Lynn Wellhelm is here. And Lynn, you are with the Dementia and Alzheimer's Association of St. Clair County. You're the executive director.
Yes.
And you have this huge Connections Expo coming up.
Yes, we do.
June 3rd, right?
June 3rd.
Okay. And this is geared toward caregivers.
Yes, it is. This is all about caregivers. It's a day off for caregivers, actually. So it will be from 8 to 4. We're hosting it at the Blue Water Convention Center in Port Huron. And it's going to be just a great day for people to get out, learn a little bit about what they need, but actually have fun. So we're really looking forward to it. It was provided by a partnership with an organization called
That's okay. It'll come to you.
It popped right out of my head. Exhale.
Oh.
See what I mean? There you go. Exhale.
That's box breathe.
And, we've got some partners in the community. We're working with the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation, with the Michigan Health Endowment Fund, also with Blue Cross Blue Shield and the Southeast Michigan Community Foundation. So it's a lot of people that are putting this together for us and funding this for us. We've got over 40 vendors. We've got 9 activities that people can participate in all day long, and it just should be a really fantastic day.
So there is a difference between professional caregivers and just caregivers who are family members, but everyone is welcome to this.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned vendors. What kind of vendors are going to be?
Well, we have all sorts of types of vendors to find out about, memory care homes. We'll have people on site that can take your vitals that day to see how you're doing, so that'll be great. We have companion animals. We've got compassion healers, all sorts of people that people can just come and learn about. But the most important thing are our activities that day. So we've got things like Qigong, if anybody's ever heard of that.
I don't know that I have.
It is a movement kind of meditation that you can go through for about
Show me
45
a move.
minutes.
No, just kidding. Okay, let's try it again.
We'll have art therapy. We'll have how to use music in your life to relax. Everything you need to do to just relax and take away some stress for one day. A really good thing that we have also, if you are home and you are taking care of a loved one, we have on-site care that day, so you can actually bring your loved one with you if you'd like.
Oh, and they'll be taken care of?
Yes, they'll be taken care of by an organization called Vinculum.
Okay.
And they're in-home care providers. They'll be there for us to take care of that, so you don't have to worry, because we want to take as much stress away as we can.
Right, and obviously if you can't find somebody to stay with whoever you're taking care of,
Yes.
that's more stress right there.
Right, and that's one of the biggest stressors that happens to people. I mean, we were talking a little bit about losing your job, losing friends, losing your connections,
Losing your money.
losing your money. Exactly. So we really are trying to help caregivers find ways to network with other people, find out where they can get resources, and that's what my organization is all about. We provide resources, education, and we also have a grant, a small grant that right now it's only available in St. Clair County for caregivers, but as long as you have a loved one that's living with you that has been diagnosed and
With dementia or
with
Alzheimer's,
dementia
right?
or Alzheimer's, you can apply for this grant and utilize it for anything you need. If you needed a day off, if you needed transportation, if you need some groceries because
Really?
you're losing, some of your hours at
Yeah.
work, we've got that for you.
That
And it's
is-
very easy to apply for.
That is amazing. Okay, so
Yes.
how do people apply for that?
They go on our website at daascc.org. There's a very easy application. There's no, financial restrictions, anything like that. You
They have to send all the paperwork in?
Yes.
Okay.
All you have to do is make sure that, again, you live in St. Clair County and you live with the person you're taking care of, and also that they have been diagnosed.
Okay, so getting back to this expo, and
Yes.
this is very cool because she's an icon and one of my favorite people in broadcasting. I'm not going to say who it is. We're just going to watch a quick video. Let's watch.
We're back with one of my favorite people, has been for a long time, Joan London.
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 Hi, I'm Joan London from Fair Oaks, California, and this is my daughter, Jamie. Good morning, America.
My dad was a doctor, but when I was 13 years old, my dad was scheduled to speak at yet another cancer conference. And when flying home, he crashed during a bad storm and was killed at only 51 years old. And I watched my then 41-year-old mom have to dry her tears and make that transition from a stay-at-home mom to a working single mom. I want to talk about women and the challenges that I think we face today.
60% of women today in this country have jobs outside the home while still raising the kids.
Don't limit your possibilities by what you think you might be able to do, but just go for it and use your talents, find your talents.
Right.
Women have come to the realization that now we have it all. That means you actually have to try to figure out how to do it all. And it's not easy.
I was getting my story ready for the 6 o'clock news and my phone rang. It was my agent who said, I just got the call from ABC. They're offering you the job as co-host of Good Morning America. 30 minutes later, my phone rang again in that little cubby. It was my gynecologist telling me I was pregnant with my first child.
Like, what are you going to do?
Whenever anyone asks you if you can do something, just say yes, and then go find out how to do it.
And I think we all write our own life story. The pen is in our hand.
She's chosen to come here this morning to share something personal with all of us.
I heard those words that every woman fears and never wants to hear. You have breast cancer.
I was diagnosed June 5th of 2014, and I don't know, I guess I felt I'd let them down in some way. I mean, did I bring this on? Did I do something wrong? I struggled with the idea of going public.
By sharing it, I have heard from women all over this country, and I have learned that I'm not alone.
And I know that from the day I was diagnosed, I started journaling, and I wrote at the top of that journal, I will survive.
And I am now cancer-free. I'm now NED, no evidence of disease.
All of a sudden, I realized that my battle would not just be my own medical journey, that this would be my new mission.
I think I'm kind of just living proof that you can achieve success in a pretty amazing life when the odds are absolutely stacked against you. Don't think about yourself in terms of what you've done in the past and what you're doing right now. Think of yourself and your capabilities and your potential as all the things you might be fantastic at.
You've had an amazing life. I mean, you worked on Good Morning America, you traveled the world, but now you have like a purpose-driven life.
Yes, and it changed the trajectory of my life. Those of you who know me know that I'm a pretty ardent, tireless advocate for healthcare. Being able to find that positive attitude in your life, I think that it helps us not only maintain our happiness and our sense of balance, it helps us to maintain our health.
So taking care of yourself and keeping you vital and vibrant and full of energy. Because when you do, it shows from the inside out, and you have enthusiasm and you have an exuberance for life, and it can change the direction of your life. I think that it changed mine.
I think there's so much value in connecting. Because we always have a lot to learn from each other.
I think having the opportunity to make a difference in other people's lives is probably the thing that I want people to remember me for.
Your story is in your hands.
Okay, so that was Joan London. Of course, she is the keynote speaker, and she'll
Yes.
be sharing. I mean, she's been through so much.
She has been.
And especially her caregiving journey as well, right?
Right. Yeah, her mother had Alzheimer's. So what she's going to be talking about is caregivers taking care of themselves. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how in the world are you going to take care of anybody else? So I think that's what her emphasis is going to be, and we're really looking forward to hearing her.
So for people who may be feeling guilty, like, oh, you know what, I've got to stay here, even though there's care available, and
Yes.
a caregiver will feel guilty almost for saying, oh, I don't need to take time for myself. What do you say to them?
You've got to do it. You've got to take a few minutes for yourself. You have to find somebody else that can support you. Sometimes it's very difficult, but hopefully when they come to our expo, they'll be able to find all sorts of different opportunities and ideas to do so. The really main point of this is to network with like-minded people. So they'll be able to meet other people. We're not just focusing on Alzheimer's and dementia at this event. It's also for all sorts of other debilitating diseases like Parkinson's, even if somebody has got long-term cancer and you are their caregiver. I mean, there's a lot of things that people can learn that day, and again, it's just a way to give them a day off.
How did all of this start?
Well, like I was saying earlier, we were working with an organization called Exhale, which is the Caregiver Initiative. They're out east, and they've been doing these grants, and then they partnered with all of our foundations in the Detroit area. They've done some other different things out on the Ann Arbor area, and now they've come here. We were one of 11 that were granted the funding for this, nice. The only one in St. Clair County. So we're really excited about that. And it's just giving us a great opportunity to do more, get more awareness out for our organization, because a lot of this is about awareness too. Mm-hmm. People don't know where to go, as we were talking earlier.
About that earlier. Yeah, I've said.
So it's a really great opportunity to see what's happening and what's available to you.
And going back to not knowing where to find the resources.
Yes.
That alone is stressful.
Absolutely.
Because you're scrambling, and you can be scrambling on a holiday, you can be scrambling at different times. And,
exactly.
And it's an urgent need.
Right.
And so that is, the resources that are available. It's funny that they're not funny, but it's interesting that resources are so hard to find.
Right. And they're getting better. I mean, when my mother was diagnosed about 12 years ago, we just all went, oh my God, what do we do?
Right.
So now there are more things available, but our big focus is we are here to help. And that's what we do. And we just work with a lot of other organizations that provide these services, and we have all the information right on our website. So it's great.
So your mom was diagnosed?
Yes.
And so you know this personally,
I do.
Okay.
I do. My dad took care of her. He would not put her in a home. He was bound and determined that he was going to do it on his own. We had some in-home care for her, but she was, the weird thing about dementia and Alzheimer's is it affects people in all different ways.
Right.
My mother was like here today and gone tomorrow.
Really?
We couldn't communicate with her. And in retrospect, you can see some of the things that she was doing that would have been red flags, but you just didn't know what to do and you weren't really paying attention. So that really can come on and be really hard for a lot of people.
Did you ever have to be a caregiver for her at any point?
I helped my father.
Okay.
Yeah. But he took care of her on his own, which was
He was like, I got this.
He did. He did. Well, at first he was a little bit, gun shocked, but
right.
He stepped up and did a great job for her and really took good care of her.
So for somebody whose parent may just be getting that diagnosis, what is your advice to them?
Well, I would really recommend that they go on our website, look at all the information that we have available. There's a lot more information out there.
But this is one day. You guys do stuff all year long.
Right. But this is where you can go to find out where to go.
Right.
So we have a lot of information there.
Okay. Give me the website one more time.
daascc.org.
Okay, and that is June 3rd.
June 3rd.
8 o'clock start?
Yes.
Till?
8 till 4.
Lunch included?
Actually, there is. We have I forgot all about our award luncheon.
Oh, tell me.
If I have a second,
Of course,
I'd like to tell you a little bit about how our organization started.
Please.
It started in 2014 with a woman by the name of Marcia Haynes, and she developed the Dementia and Alzheimer's Resource Committee. She was a force to be reckoned with. I'm so sorry I didn't get to meet her, but she did a lot of other initiatives in Port Huron. But then she found out that her husband was diagnosed and went through the same thing, couldn't find information, so she started this organization on her own. So now every year we have an award luncheon for her. Actually, it's our 3rd year, and we honor those individuals and organizations that have gone beyond and above to support our organization and do some great things.
How do you get those nominations?
You just go online. We have an online site.
Yep. Oh, so
anybody can nominate those people.
In St. Clair?
In St. Clair County, yes.
Okay.
Right now, hopefully we'll branch out eventually, but right now it's just St. Clair County.
Okay, so a fun day, networking, which is so important because when you meet like-minded people or people you can talk to about this, you have shared experiences.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And that's what makes a difference.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm sure people walk away from this event actually becoming friends.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose.
Oh, that is awesome. So what a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you. And we hope to see you there.
Oh, I'm crashing. You said lunch is involved. How about coffee? Is there coffee?
Yes, there is.
Okay, well then, I'm all good then. I'm all good. Okay, well, we have talked about self-care all the time. It's like a buzzword, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that I do is I go to Row House, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's a lot of fun. And I go to the Wednesdays classes because it's 9:30, women only. Here's a very cool video because it's not like one of those places where you go and you're very self-conscious looking around. It's dark and there's loud music. Let's watch. Okay, so again, that's Row House on 13 Mile in Southfield Road. Go in, say hi to Jake. The best thing about that is that your first class is free. Well, my next guest here is definitely not halfway to 100. This is Audrey Ray. And Audrey, you are so funny because we initially met through the Lakes Area Chamber.
Yes.
And you wear many hats.
I do.
So I know her as grassroots marketing, right? Yes. All of these different things.
Yeah.
But what's so funny is all of a sudden on social media, I started seeing, oh, Audrey Ray and country singer. And I'm like, what is happening? I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is craziness. So you have been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
You obviously have a passion for music.
Yeah.
And country music, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So when did this start for you?
Yeah, so I have always had music instilled from a very young age. When I was just a little girl, my dad was in a Southern rock band when I was little, so like my whole life there was always music playing in the household. Mm-hmm. And from there, I was always in choir. I was always doing something musical, mm-hmm. and I knew that was a part of my heart, and I've just been so blessed throughout the years to have really great opportunities and success as a local independent artist. So it's always been in my heart.
So it's your passion.
It really is my passion.
Okay,
yes.
so so when did you weren't sneaking into bars to play, right?
Well, I was actually probably underage playing. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but I was not drinking. But at the time, I was playing full band shows in my local hometown bar, and like we would sell the place out.
That
so
is awesome.
It was so cool and so humbling to be able to do that, which inspired me to continue to move forward.
Okay, so when did things actually like kick into high gear for you?
Yeah, so I released my first song, Reckless, back when I was probably 20. I shouldn't be aging myself, but
I thought you were 20.
So I was super thrilled with that opportunity. That was my first song to ever be played on country radio right here in Detroit, 99.5 WICD, and they've supported me since day one. And I believe after getting out my first original song, it really changed the game for me. And it really just lit a fire in me to keep on going and crafting what I want to say and writing my own songs from
So
the
you
heart.
do write your own songs?
I do.
Okay, and what's and you sing, obviously.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about writing your own songs?
Yeah, just seeing it on paper and then come to life. Like I shared with you one of my newest songs.
Yes, Sparks.
Yeah, Sparks.
Yes, so actually we are going to play a little bit of that
I'm
video,
so
okay?
excited. Yes. So
okay, so let's watch that.
Yay.
He loves driving with the windows down. It's tearing up the gravel like he's NASCAR bound. Like a summer dragging out on the town. You keep filling me up, I can't put you down. The way I feel, I don't wanna slow down. I caught him singing with the radio. A little off key, but I love the show. Oh, don't you know he's like a Tennessee breeze when the storm rolls in. Feels so good against my skin. It's taking me places I never thought I would go. 'Cause I finally feeling sparks again. There's a fire in my heart again that keeps it burning and burning for you. Oh, I was in the dark, and now I'm feeling sparks. He's got his arms wrapped around me like an old back
Okay, so that is awesome.
Thank you. Yes.
And yes, let's give a round of applause for that because that is beautiful. And seriously, how
Thank
talented are
you.
You're so talented.
Thank you.
Okay, so the song obviously called Sparks,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons because that video is hot.
Yeah, isn't it so good?
It's so good. So what did you obviously did not direct that yourself?
Right, correct.
Okay, so you've worked with some big people.
Yeah, so that was so special to me. I co-wrote that song with a good friend of mine, Dave Fuller, and Tim Padalin. And Tim Padalin is actually in the rock band Sponge, another Michigan icon rocker. And then I was so proud to take that song to Nashville, Tennessee, and working with my producer, Kent Wells, and he works with Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, right?
Yeah.
So that is some big things happening for you. So next week, I think, is it next Sunday, where that song is actually going to debut, right?
Yep.
On
So,
WICD?
Yes, girl.
Yes. Oh, yes,
So,
yes.
Yep, next Sunday. I'm so excited. It'll be in the evening time frame. So if you have on your car radio, 99.5 WICD, they're going to debut Sparks on the radio. So
Do you know what time?
I'm so excited. They told me anytime after 10:30 p.m.
It's like the cable company.
So I know. So I'm going to be up probably
Of course.
10:30 till like 11. It's in the evening time, but
Right.
it's still being played on the radio.
Okay, so how does that make you feel?
Oh my God, I'm getting emotional talking about it with you right now. The song took a long time to get where it is today, so I just can't wait to hear it on the air. And it's a lot of emotions when you write something and you put it out into the world, because that's like your baby,
Yeah, and
right?
you're like, oh, what are they going to think?
Yeah,
And
it's a lot, and you're sharing that with the world.
It's like your heart, right?
It is.
You're sharing your heart.
It really is.
Okay, so how many songs have you written?
I have like a bookload of them. I can't even tell you how many.
Really?
Probably over like, I start with an idea and I draft it in like a journal, and then they sit there and I just gotta finish writing them. But that is like my con. It's like I'll start it and then I'll have like a good intro to the chorus, and then I'm like, oh, that's a little save. I'm gonna save it for later. So, but
Nice.
I have many thoughts in my head.
What's your favorite thing to write about?
I would say personal experiences are always a great thing to start to write something about, but sometimes you can just write like a story. Like a lot of artists that inspire me, they say that they don't really come from their life, but from other people that they've been around or what they grew up from, and they just write about it, like about somebody else. Or
Well, what's funny is, so I know stand-up comedians do that too, right?
Yeah.
Because I used to date one, and I would go to a show, and all of a sudden he'd talk about something in real life that happened, and I'd be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yes.
And people are laughing hysterically, and you're like
Yeah.
sinking down, right? Like,
Yeah.
pay no attention to me, it's fine.
Yeah.
So where do you want this to go?
So, like we've talked before, it's been a dream of mine ever since I was very young, as a young girl. And I've always just had the initiative and the willpower to just keep on going, because it's a very tough industry and nobody's going to do it but you. So you have to be very eager to keep on going when the times get hard. Sometimes they don't pay the bills. Some shows are free. But you really have to be very self-aware and keep on going, because it doesn't just happen overnight.
So that's probably your advice to anyone aspiring to be a musician, huh?
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
But no, and rejection, I mean, it's like you've got to embrace it, right? Same
Yeah.
thing with acting. It's
Yeah.
no different. You've got to be like, oh, yay, I just got told no, and
Right.
I am the wrong size, or my hair
Yeah.
color's wrong. Yay.
It's very a tough industry, but I believe nowadays, like, women are very paving the way. And like Lainey Wilson, if you follow the country music scene, she won Entertainer of the Year as a female artist. So that's huge for young girls and women who are inspiring to take it to that level.
So who inspires you?
I love Lainey. I love Mariana Lambert. Yes. She's like one of my icons, my favorite.
Have you ever met her?
I did.
Did you?
I did get to
Okay.
meet her at
Awesome.
a meet and greet with her, and it was so great.
Oh,
it was
that's
so great.
awesome.
I love the way that her songs speak from the heart.
Okay, so Nashville, I know, is becoming near and dear to your heart,
Yeah.
and it's one of my favorite places.
It
It
is.
is so amazing, and I mean, where else can you walk down the street and hear music?
Yeah.
At any time of day, really.
Any
it
time of
seems,
day.
right? So you
Yep.
go back and forth now.
Yeah. So growing up as a child, my great grandma lived in Clarksville, Tennessee. So that root was always instilled in my family. Was like the southern vibes was always there. So as a young girl, we went there and we went to go visit Grandma Gladys. Like you got to go see Grandma Gladys,
right?
But since those
Was Grandma
moments,
Gladys a musician?
No, she wasn't. She was a hairdresser.
Oh,
But yeah, I think it started back then, driving down there with my family and like seeing the town. And I'm like, I want to do this.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, like you said, sometimes it doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And
right.
so it's funny because how are people reacting to you now in your day job, right?
Right. They're very proud and they're very like, how are you doing this? That's so great that you're following your dreams. And it's just so cool. And I'm just very blessed to get to do it and keep pushing through. And you know,
you've actually won a couple awards.
Yeah. Yeah. So
okay, so what was their Michigan? One is in Michigan,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so that is a newer group, Michigan Music Awards, and yeah, I was nominated for Sparks, which you guys just saw,
Love that.
and nominated as well for Best Live Performance, I believe is what it was. Yeah, so really, really cool. Really, really cool.
Okay, so what is next? Where are you touring to, girls, so I can be your roadie?
Right, so you can check out all of my tour dates on audreyraymusic.com. I have them all posted there, along on my Facebook page and everywhere that you can find me on social. Booked with local shows like in Farmington, St. John's, Michigan as well, but all the dates are posted on my website.
Okay.
A lot in August, so that's going to be really crazy. And then going back to Nashville. So
Really?
yes.
Are you working on another song?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about it?
Yeah.
She's like, no.
So that's up and coming at the end of June. So I'm really thrilled.
soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is with Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you met Dolly Parton?
I have not.
Okay. All right.
I feel like she's gonna walk through the studio doors one of these days.
What do you think you'll do if that
I
happens?
will probably cry. I kid you not. I'll be like a ghost.
Right? You'll be like,
Yeah.
ah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I love Barry Manilow.
Okay.
Okay, so
Aw.
since I was like 10 years old, it is
Yeah.
hilarious. It's like, what 10-year-old loves Barry Manilow? Well, I do. I always have. So as my life progressed, people back then it was albums, then it was CDs, and when I was still at WWJ, in fact, I was knowing I was going to leave soon.
Yeah.
And my assistant news director said, hey, check the bucket, which is where all the files are.
Yeah.
And so I knew Barry Manilow was coming to Detroit in concert, and I was like, oh, yeah, reading the press release, blah, blah, blah. A local teacher won like some award from his foundation, blah, blah, blah. But at the very end of the press release, it said, for interviews with Mr. Manilow, call, da-da-da. And so I sat there, I kid you not, for 10 minutes, like, do I call? What do I do? Is this real? Will I really be? Are you kidding? So I was going on there at noon, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to send this email real quick, and just, we'd love to talk to Mr. Manilow, blah, blah, blah. And so I was on the air for 2 hours. I got off the air, checked my email, and she's like, okay, when? And I was like, are you kidding?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was crazy. So the funny thing is that we set that interview up. He was in Palm Springs, so we had to, with the time difference, and I had to get Jackie Page, thankfully she stayed on the air for me, but get her to stay on the air so I could do this phone interview with him. And his PR person knew what a big fan of his I was. And she told me, she's like, listen, you cannot talk to him, you cannot tell him that you're a big fan, you cannot, he doesn't like that, he's not, and I'm like, okay, so they connect the call, because, they're always connecting the call. You don't know their number. Yeah. And they said, okay, now you're connected to Mr. Manilow. And I said, okay. So I was like trying not to pass out. And I said, oh, Mr. Manilow, thanks so much for, taking my call. And he's like, oh my God, do not call me Mr. Manilow. And then I was like, game on. So listen, I was your biggest fan since I was 10 years old. And it all just came out. He starts laughing, and he's like, actually, he was the one who said, what 10-year-old likes me? And I was like, I just have always loved your music. So we talked for like 20 minutes, and that was back when people were throwing shoes. Remember that?
No.
People were like, during concerts, they were like actually throwing things at the artist. And so I remember asking him, what would you do? He's like, I don't know. I'm used to getting roses and the occasional pair of underwear. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
So I said, when I was ending the conversation, and I said, I wish I was a music teacher. And he said, well, why? And I said, well, so I could meet you. And he said, well, why can't you meet me? And he said, no, I want you to come to the concert. And so, so I was like, okay, great. He's like, okay, I'll see you then.
No
Call my
way.
person. Yeah. But the funny thing was, his person called. As soon as we hung up, his person called. And my news director's screaming, and I'm thinking I'm going to be in like big trouble for fangirling over him. And so I got on the phone, and she said, you know what? In all the years I've been with him, I have never heard someone charm him like you charmed him.
Gosh.
So you've got tickets, and you'll be on the list to meet him.
Oh my gosh.
So it was very cool. So a month passed, and I went out to LCA, super excited, and gave them my name to check in, and they were like, we don't have it.
No.
Yes. And I was like, what do you mean? I was trying not to cry. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I ended up texting a person, one of his handlers, and they said, listen, you're on the list for Cleveland.
Oh, no.
For tomorrow.
Oh, no.
But we can get you in the same room as him. But you cannot talk to, again, you cannot talk to him. You cannot, you can barely look at him. And I'm like, okay, fine. So he literally walked right by me. And I was like, there he is.
Oh, my God.
So you know what? Good enough.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, honestly, it was, but he's coming back, and I'm super excited because Barbie and I are going to that concert.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to be like, hey, remember me? I charmed you, remember? Probably get tossed out, right?
Yeah.
But, when you meet those people, or you almost meet those people, and you have those conversations with them, it's this whole, it's this whole thing.
It's a thing.
Right? And you hear of people who do end up meeting who their favorite celebrity is, and then they're
disappointed.
awful. Yeah,
Right.
they're disappointed.
Yeah.
So I can honestly say I was not disappointed.
That's such a cool story.
So I hope when you meet Dolly,
I know.
I hope when you meet her that she's as fabulous as she seems,
exactly.
and I'm sure she is.
I'm sure she is.
Right? So, and we'll be looking forward to June.
Yes, I'll keep you posted.
Okay, and we're all going to stay up late. We all agree, right? To stay up late and listen to YCD.
Yes.
Sunday night.
Sunday night
for Sparks.
Sparks.
All right,
debut.
We're doing it, man.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. I know you're
so
super
much.
busy.
You're so sweet.
And about that chamber, no, never mind. About the chamber business.
Yeah.
She's like, we can talk later. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having
No,
me.
thank you.
Such an honor.
Okay, so tomorrow night, it's funny you said that August is your busy time.
Yeah.
It seems like May is shaping up to be my busy time. I'm super excited because the Center for Financial Planning, they have this book tour. And tomorrow, I'm actually hosting 1 of 3 panels for them. It's out in Brighton. It is at the Harmonic All Heart Garage. That is where this is going on. Again, it's in Brighton, and I will be leading the book panel. Their advisors have each taken a chapter and written about like real life stuff that you like taxes and retirement, 401ks. And I had a chance to sit down with Callie. Let's watch. So I am sitting here with Callie Hessinger, and Callie, thank you so much for joining us. You know, this book, I read it at night because it's so interesting to me, and it's so chock full of different financial advice and tips, and you wrote chapter 3.
Yes.
Okay, so where do I stand building your personal financial statements? And, you know, you think of financial statements, I'm thinking, do you want my credit card statement? Do you want, you know, my bank statement? But that's not really what it is.
It is part of it.
Okay.
So those numbers on your credit card statement, your bank statement, they play into what all contributes to your total financial statement. So we call it the net worth statement, but it's basically compiling your assets, both financial and real assets like your home, and then of course your debt. And essentially, how does that number even out, and how do we get to that bottom line number, your net worth, or, you know, personal financial statement?
So do you kind of take into consideration, so this is pretty much all paperwork. I mean, it's all bottom line stuff.
Yeah.
And your financial goals are kind of outside of that because this is what you're looking at in black and white.
It is black and white, but I think those numbers can help us determine goals. You know, when you're able to see those numbers, is consolidating debt a goal? Reducing debt? Is increasing savings a goal? And when you're able to look at those numbers, yes, very black and white, it can be very eye-opening. You know, it's not...
And very red sometimes, right?
Well, I think, you know, it's helpful to just take an honest look. No judgment, there's no expectation of, you know, what should I have? There's no real should with financial planning. It's always, it depends. It depends on your lifestyle, it depends on your goals. And the financial statement or the net worth, it's a really foundational first step piece when we build a financial plan for clients.
So is it easier for you to keep track of your finances because of your industry, or do you think it's harder?
I think it's easier just because of the education piece of it. I always say a lot of people who feel like, oh, I don't know, and there's almost like an embarrassment
And a shame. There's almost
Yeah.
like a shameful thing.
Because I should know this, but I don't. Well, we're not really taught this in school. I know now in education systems, they're trying to focus on personal finances.
Now it's a requirement, a graduation requirement.
But for, you know, me coming up, we didn't have that. So that's part of what prompted, you know, learning about this.
So how was it for you contributing to this book?
It was cool. I think it's
sure.
really neat to have a document or a book to hand to someone and say, hey, this is the basics. Of course, it depends on your situation. This is very general information, but at the center, we always say we're really committed to the financial planning process. It's not just investment management, and that book was a good testament to that. So it was neat. It was a lot of teamwork, and that's one of the values, teamwork and collaboration.
Right? It is so cool. And of course, tomorrow night is when the first event is happening, the panel, and I'm so excited to be actually to be out there, and that is at Harmonic All Heart Garage in Brighton, and I know people will be excited to be there. I know it'll be fun, finances, and maybe some food.
Yes. Food makes every event better.
It does, doesn't it? It doesn't matter what it is. Food, and coffee. How about coffee? Will there be coffee?
We'll be caffeinated for the conversation.
Awesome. See? Okay, I have one more request from you. Okay. Will you sign my book?
Of course.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And of course, all of this information about the different events coming up and how to get in touch with you or other financial planners can be found on the website, right?
Yep, our website, www.centerfinplan.com. All of our events, resources, there's a lot on there to look through.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. That'd be great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See, I don't just fangirl over Barry Manilow. I also fangirl over authors, right? So the beautiful thing about this book is that it's actually free. So if you actually want one, any of you, I have a whole case in my car. And they just give it away for free because that's why they did it. They didn't do it, they'll say, to not make money. They did it to get the resources out there. And again, it's all about resources. So please let me know if you want it. You can reach out to me on socials, or if any of you, I know, Todd, I owe you another copy.
Yes.
So, okay, so this is Todd Turner, and you are the founder of Team Guts Michigan,
Team Guts.
which is an interesting name.
It is.
But first of all, you know, I always say this when I've talked to somebody on the phone for years and have never met in person. And
Yes.
we went back and forth when I was at WWJ, and this is actually the first time that we've met in person.
Yes.
So thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's very nice to meet you in person.
Okay, so Team Guts Michigan is a nonprofit.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Yes.
And the name is, you know, people might like kind of think, what is that? So tell us what it is.
Okay. Well, my mom hates the name. She's grown to like it now.
I know. I remember you telling me that before.
Yes.
Like, can't you come up with something else?
So it's an acronym.
Okay.
It stands for Ground Up Training System.
Okay.
So we build them from the ground up. We train. So we work with special needs children, teenagers, and adults.
Mm-hmm.
We do fitness programs, one-on-one strength training, sports camps, sports clinics, and then our summer camp, all for special needs.
Okay.
So we build them from the ground up, just like anybody else.
Yeah. And this is all about fitness, but it's about the activity.
It's about movement.
Yeah.
So a lot of these kids, for example, my daughter,
Mhm.
she has Down syndrome, autism, and that's why Team Guts was started. So my background is exercise science. I was a trainer. I trained sports teams. I had non-athletes.
Okay.
My oldest client was 93.
Really?
And we did strength training.
Wow.
But I didn't specialize in special needs until I had my daughter.
Okay.
And then I realized there's nothing for these kids.
Mhm.
And then you realize, well, wait a minute, what about teenagers? What about adults?
Yeah.
You know, the biggest thing is movement.
Right.
They don't get the movement. And for most families, it's life skills for those with special needs. You know, how can my child work on their own? Can they live on their own eventually? And I get it. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
What takes a back seat is the health and fitness. You know, the movement. You know, statistically, they're you know, higher weight problems, health issues, asthma, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's needed.
So
It's
how
needed.
long have you been doing this?
We're going on 11 years.
Wow. And you're in Clawson.
We're in Clawson right now.
Okay.
We had a facility for 6 years in Ferndale.
Right.
And then COVID hit. And so we're not the only ones. So we're working on a new permit. We need a new permanent home where we can do all the programs we did, the field trips for schools. We're limited right now.
Mhm.
So we're working with the gentleman from Trinity Hospital. We're trying to get a new permanent home. The goal is for a permanent home that we own
Mhm.
and it outlives us.
That's awesome.
Because that's where, it's my brother Paul and I.
Okay.
And that's where our heart is and my passion. We didn't do it to be millionaires, let's put it that way.
Right.
But the difference is I have a child.
Mm-hmm.
And it's near and dear to my heart. So
How old's your daughter?
she's 16 now.
Okay, so she's 16. Does she participate?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay.
She's a dual diagnosis, like I said,
Mhm.
Down syndrome, autism. She's nonverbal.
Okay.
But yeah, she sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, it depends on the activity, you know, and what she's in the mood for, type of thing.
Right. So fitness training, and you know, it's funny because your you know, you have, you know, you see boxing, I think, right? Or
We've done pretty much everything.
Okay.
Especially when we had our facility. We did football camps, adaptive golf, baseball, soccer.
Everything.
You name it. It's an opportunity for these kids to do things that
Mhm.
they don't get a chance to do. The neurotypical crowd, yeah, there's a million options.
Right.
But for these kids, you know, I can't tell you how many parents are like, you know, I love soccer, but it's the only thing my kid can do, and so we've done football, we've done golf, and they just, you know, it's
That's
like it's
awesome.
different.
Right.
And we do one-on-one strength training and martial arts. We
Okay.
do a drumming class.
Oh yeah, the
dance.
drumming class seems to be very,
Oh, it's fun.
very fun.
It's fun, but it's movement.
Right.
We try to make it fun. Like our camp is called the Team Guts Fun and Fitness Camp. Well, it's fun, but it's fitness. We
Right.
do a different sport or fitness activity every day. We do arts and craft and like a tie-dye, and then we do a healthy snack at the end. You know,
Mhm.
trying to get them to eat healthy and water. We don't do
Right.
the sugar drinks. And
Right.
that. So yeah, our camp's coming up. So
Okay, so tell me about the camps and when did this start?
June 16th is the
Okay.
first week.
Okay.
And it's in Clawson
Mhm.
at the Hunter Community Center. Then our goal is not to turn any family away. We try to help families with scholarships as much as we can. You know, we lose money on our camp, but if we get money in, we run it, and you know, knock on wood, we don't turn anyone away.
Right.
For financial help, we do our best.
What is so? What's the age range for camps?
7 years old on up.
Okay.
I think our oldest camper right now that's registered is probably 40.
Okay.
So it's a mix. It's a mix, and we have you know, we have counselors, and then we also have volunteers. We have high school, college. You know, these are their peers.
Yeah.
And not that the kids don't want to hang out with me, but
well,
they
you seem pretty cool, but I don't know.
That's what I try to tell people, but yeah, it doesn't. But they want to hang with their peers, and I get it.
Right.
I get it. So there's a social aspect as well.
Right. Well, so that kind of goes back to what Lynn was saying too about the Caregiver Expo. It's about connecting, and about kind of making those friendships, and letting people know that they're not alone.
They're not
right?
alone.
And that's what's so important.
That's the hardest thing. And that's why we're always trying to talk to people. I mean, as a 501c, yeah, we have our hand out, just like everyone else. But no, I want to have conversations. You know, you want to talk to people, you want to meet, because you never know. You know, you're always looking to talk and make a connection.
Well, plus you never know who might be dealing with something similar and not have said something. And
without a doubt.
Right? So I think that's part of it is that you may be frustrated in a day and be all of a sudden talking about something, and they'll be, oh yeah, I get that, because that's my life too. And then you're shocked.
Yes.
Because people seem to keep things, you know, close to the chest, which I understand.
Which they do. And, you know, they talk about autism. You know, there's a spectrum. Well, we're all on the spectrum. I mean, we really are.
I'm going to clap for
no
that.
No matter what, yeah. Listen, just ask my wife. I have a lot of other issues. So it's like, we all have something we're doing.
Right,
you know what I mean? We're
for
all,
sure.
There's things, but autism's on the rise. Now it's CDC's talking about 1 in 32.
Wow.
You know, so and for a lot of these parents, I understand it because I live it. It's 24/7. And you meet parents, like you said, you don't know what everyone's dealing with something, you know, whatever it is. But I tell families, I said, I understand, because you're not only physically tired, you're mentally tired.
Yeah.
And they sometimes need a break. That's where when they come to our classes and stuff, they're like, oh, I'm going to go shopping for an hour. Is that okay? It's like, yeah. Or our camp, you know, can we? No, you're safe.
They're like, can we skedaddle?
They just sometimes need a break.
Yeah, for sure.
Because some of these kids are 24/7.
Are there any support groups out there for parents who may need that kind of break?
You know, I know they're out there, you know, like Facebook pages and stuff like that.
Right, but you guys, I mean, have you ever thought of doing that? Or
it's a good idea, because people have asked
I'm full
us
of them,
about
ask
that.
me.
No, they're good. Well, when we had our facility, then we did have, you know, where parents would come, like in the morning, have coffee, and just talk.
Yeah,
you know, it's for everybody. For any, you know, people are dealing with this, they have a loved one that's sick. You know, it's support groups.
Right.
Yeah, so I get it. Like, you know, you understand definitely. So yeah, it's you know, you're not alone. You know, and
I think that's half the battle.
It is half the battle. You know, but a lot of these kids, you know, it's funny when they do the class, and the parents are like, you know, I don't know if my kid's into it. I said, yeah, because it's hard.
Yeah.
I said, but sometimes you got to make them do it, because who wants to do it?
Nobody wants
if
to
I
do
could
that.
sit on a couch.
Except I want to do row house. Don't get me wrong.
Well, yes, I got to.
Did you meet Jake?
I got to go over there.
Yeah, it's cool.
But if I could sit on a couch and, I just did row house for an hour. Oh, I just ran a mile. I'm thinking, yeah, I would do it too. I said, of course your kid doesn't want to do it.
Right.
But we tell parents, come try every class we offer. Come try it for free, because you can do every one. But sometimes you got to make them, and the younger we get them, then it becomes part of the routine. But that's for everybody. You know, it becomes a lifestyle. You know, you got to be like a shark. You just keep moving. And these kids,
now
they
I'm hearing
don't
that song
move.
in my head.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yes, that's it. Maybe Audrey can sing it for us.
That's a good idea.
I know, isn't it a good idea? I think it's a great idea. So the whole idea of, you know, supporting families and kids, and what you just said about, you know, nobody wants to do this, but you have to make them. What do you see after they make them do it? Like the first class, and the kid, you know, the kid doesn't want to do it, the parent's kind of nervous, but then the kid participates. What happens after?
It depends.
Okay.
You know, I have a young man, and I won't mention his name, but I said, oh, it's good to see you. He goes, no, it's not really good to see you. And I think it's funny. It's funny. And he's not trying to be funny.
Right.
But I get it.
But he's being honest.
He goes, I don't want to be here, Todd. Oh. I said, you know what? I don't either. But here we are. And I said, it's good for you. He goes, yeah, I know. My mom told me that.
Oh.
But you know, we're not going to be here forever. And it's like, who's going to, you know, you want them to be as healthy as possible.
Right.
And that's where, you know, some live in a group home and they do nothing all day except game. And, you know, these kids want to be on their computer. Just every single kid.
Right.
It's,
across the board.
Across the
It's
board.
across the board.
You know, I want to sit and do nothing, play games, be on my phone. And it's so needed, especially for these kids, because they have more health issues. For my daughter, for example, with Down syndrome, less muscle tone. So she's already, you know, and shorter. So she's already, you know, it's already stacked against her.
Right.
So, you know, get them moving, and it's just about health and fitness, and they don't get the same opportunities. This demographic is forgotten. It is what it is. They are forgotten.
Okay, so having said that, what would you, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you do?
Oh, if I could wave a magic wand, I'd have this whole facility with the pools, with the, my daughter loves the water, you know. I would take care of the staff. I would have all these opportunities. We had our own facility. Now we need to get a new one that we can do all these things to help families. And for a lot of these families, insurance doesn't cover a lot of this stuff. It's tough. It's expensive, a lot of the stuff. So we tell people, come try our classes for free. We also scholarship.
Right.
You know, you're like, oh, your one-on-one training is expensive. I said, really? Because we scholarship, and it's pretty much nothing.
Really?
So I said, no. You know, we help out everyone we can.
Well, I think sometimes too, though, people will use money as an excuse sometimes, right? I mean, because it is easier to stay in the house and do nothing, honestly.
Do nothing.
But if you have the opportunity, and then they're like, okay, well, I guess I'll try.
Try it. Yeah. So no, not everyone, not all these kids love it. But they're honest about it. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm thinking, yeah, I don't either.
Right. Right. That's
but I'll
good,
go work out, even though it's like I'm tired. I don't want to do it. So
right. Just get it done. Yeah. Right.
But you're
That's
doing
just
it.
What you got to do.
And you know, some of these, they're sweating. I'm thinking that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
that must make you feel pretty proud.
It does. I mean, when you see these kids, we have a young man with cerebral palsy, and the mom said the doctor was asking me like, what have you guys been doing? She's like, what? What's wrong?
Oh.
Well, he's standing up better on his own. You know,
That
he can
is-
barely,
yeah.
but he does he does martial arts. I mean, he does everything. He does our summer camp.
Really?
And she goes, well, we go to this Team GOTS. We've been doing strength training. He goes, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
High five, man. That's
and I'm
awesome.
thinking, to me, that's why we do it.
Yeah.
That's why we do it.
That is so cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so summer camp enrollment's open.
It's open.
Okay.
And, you know, right now, I think week 1 we have a waiting list, but if people contact me, you know, it's about getting counselors as well, extra counselors.
Oh,
but
okay. So if anyone
we
was
open it up.
interested in being a counselor, what would they need to do?
They can contact me.
Okay,
And
how do they do that?
Go to our website, teamgutsmichigan.com, and there's an info, and they can reach out.
Okay.
You know, we're always looking for volunteers. We're looking for, you know, help sponsors for our camp. We have a fundraiser coming up in September, you know, at M1 Concourse.
Yes.
And listen, I'm trying to get the word. You get the word out.
Yeah,
you know,
for
that's what it's about.
Yep,
It's
exactly.
about relationships, contacts. So.
Well, you kind of summed up what the show's about. See?
Yes.
That's what I try really hard to do. Okay, so before we go, I want to ask all of you a question. Lynn, I'll start with you. Okay, so if you had the chance to meet your younger self for coffee, what would you tell her?
Oh boy, that would go into lunch, dinner, breakfast the next day. I would just tell her to follow her dreams and look for some really good mentors.
And did you have mentors?
I did.
Okay.
I had a lot of mentors in my life.
Okay. And that
I
makes
did
a
lot
difference.
Of things. Yeah. And just don't say no to anything. Just try everything until you hit it.
Kind of what you said, Todd. They just got to try. Right?
They got to try.
They got to try.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So Audrey, you're a little bit younger, so I'm going to ask you what you would say to your older self.
To my older
yes,
self. Wow.
When you meet her for coffee in, let's say, 25 years.
That is tough. Like you said, I would keep going and say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. And you have to try. I think that's our motto up here.
Motto today.
Is to keep trying and to keep going for your dreams, because you never know what is around the corner. Keep going.
Keep going. Awesome, Audrey. Thank you. Okay, you're up next.
Well, like.
Do you want younger self or older self?
It would be the older self telling the younger me. Well, like your book right there, what you're talking about, the investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to share that with my older daughters. I'm thinking, even if you put like $50 a month away, starting at 18, I'm thinking,
right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's kind of crazy though, because
it is crazy.
How Callie said, that video. Well, we just now are getting a finance class that's mandatory for graduation, and by finance, it's checking accounts and banking and all of that, and budgets and stuff, because nobody knew how to do that.
No.
Yes.
Right? So that's what and you have twins.
I have, my older girls are twins.
Right.
Yeah.
So I owe you one more copy of
You
this.
do. You do.
Okay.
Okay,
so
I'll
you're
hound you for that.
So you're going to get that. Okay, but what would you tell yourself?
To not stress about stuff, because none of this matters. It's going to be okay. You know, and I try to tell my older girls, they're 20. I'm thinking, you guys are, I get it, it's real to them. But it's like, it's going to be okay. These are first world problems that really mean nothing. So you're going to be okay. You know, you just keep doing what you're doing, and it is going to be okay. To sort of stress out about this or classes and all that, it's okay.
But in that moment, to them, it's not okay.
No, it's real. It's
Right,
real.
right.
I get it. It's real to them.
Yeah.
But then you get older and you realize, okay, these are our first world problems. You know, look at our world, and it's like, yeah, I don't have it so bad.
Right.
Right.
You know, there's always somebody worse off. There's always a story, and even when I meet these families, you know, I know my daughter, it's 24/7. Then I meet another family, I'm like, wow, you know, my heart breaks. My heart breaks for what some of these families go through. So.
Well, it's funny. I'm thinking, I'm zoning out. I'm not really, but it looks like I am.
That happens a lot
Because
when I'm talking to people. They zone out. My wife, I'm thinking, what?
I'm sorry, you still talk? No, I'm just kidding. No, I was thinking that your twins are 20 and mine are 13 and what they're going through right now, and wow.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I think I'll text them as soon as the show's over and say, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right. But at different, at different stages, we all, it is tough, and you have to be resilient.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so
a tough thing to do too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I really did just blank.
That's okay.
Okay,
I get that
so
a lot.
okay, Lynn, the Caregiver Expo, that is when and how do people find more information?
June 3rd from 8 to 4 at the Blue Water Convention Center in Port Huron. They can go to our website at daascc.org and sign up.
Okay, registration required?
Registration is not required, but it is certainly
helpful.
Helpful, yes.
Okay. All right. And Audrey Ray, for you, your website and your next song release?
Yes.
Okay.
It's audreyraymusic.com, and be sure to tune in to WICD 99.5 this Sunday in the evening hours, sometime between 10:30 and 11. They will be debuting my song Sparks.
So amazing.
Awesome.
So
So
amazing.
excited.
Yes,
That's
we're so
awesome.
excited for you. And Todd, your information?
TeamGutsMichigan.com.
Change the name, will ya?
I know. That's what my mom said. But it gets your attention.
It does.
It does.
It does indeed. So, real quick, why Team Cuts? I guess I should have asked you that. Why did you name it that?
Well, we had the acronym, Ground Up Training System.
Right, okay.
Because we always use that, my brother and I. We take these athletes, non-athletes, and you build them. It's like everyone has a starting point, and then it's like, okay, what about a team?
Okay.
It's about team. It's about community, family, and again, we are the team.
We are the
God.
team.
So, yeah, that's kind of how it came together.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. All right.
Thank
and
you.
nice to meet you finally in
Very nice meeting
person.
you.
Audrey, I'll talk to you later.
Yes.
And Lynn, I will see you in June. Super excited
Sounds
about
great.
that. Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you all for being with us today. Of course, we'll be back next Monday, although Memorial Day is time not flying?
It's flying.
It's
It always
flying,
does.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be at the Mackinac Policy Conference, and like I said last week, if there's anything that anyone you want me to track down there, any conversation you want me to have or try to have, let me know, because I'm super excited about that as well. And that is all in part to Blue Cross Blue Shield, who is sponsoring me on Media Row. So we will see you next week. In the meantime, keep the coffee hot. Bye. Thanks.
Oh, that's yours. That's yours.
You are so good. I know.